Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another declutter video. I'm going to declutter my blush collection. I don't know if I actually decluttered my blush collection last year because I feel like it's larger than I thought it was going to be. I've kind of fallen in love with blush over the past few years. I used to hate blush, like I did not like wearing it at all, and I've kind of just discovered so many different brands and so many formulas that I do love to wear, but I do have too many. I'm not able to use them all regularly because there are so many in my collection, and because of that, I want to cut down my collection and just focus on the ones that I really love. There might be quite a few blushes that I really like, but if they aren't ones that I reach for all the time, then I think I need to declutter them. Just so you guys know, none of these products are being thrown away. They're not going to be wasted. I have a lot of friends and family who love makeup as much as I do, so I always pass the products along to them, unless of course they are old or expired. And I think there might be a couple that are old, but for the most part, they're in pretty good shape. If you guys like declutter videos, I'll link my declutter playlist in the description box below, and let's jump into it and start decluttering. Okay, let me kick it off with my Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. So years ago when I was kind of getting into makeup, like high-end makeup, my very first high-end blush purchase was one of these Tarte blushes. I think it was the shade Doll Face, which I've actually repurchased since then because I have noticed that these Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes can dry out, which is weird because I haven't experienced that with a lot of powder products, but I think it's because a lot of them are more on like the matte dry side to begin with. So over time, they just kind of change texture. My blush preferences have changed, and while I do reach for matte blushes on occasion, I don't typically reach for these any longer because I find that they are super matte. So I do use the mini ones, but as for my full-size blushes, I haven't reached for these in a really long time. They're really pretty, but I also have some brighter shades, and again, I feel like my blush preferences have changed, and I just typically wear, not something so intense these days. So I am going to declutter the full-sized blushes. Empowered is a really pretty color. It's like a light shimmery pink. So, out of all of them, I would probably wear this one the most, but you know what? I'm going to declutter it because there are other blushes I'm planning on keeping. This one is Feisty, and then out of all of them, I definitely wear this one the most. This one is called Party. So, you know what? I think I'll keep Party because this is a blush that I do love to wear, but I'll declutter the other ones. And then this one was part of like their Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust collection. This one is in the shade Fairy Flush, which is a really pretty, like light nude pink. I think I'll actually keep this one as well. So I'll keep two and then I'll declutter the other four. These are the Too Faced Tutti Frutti blushes, which I do love. I know they get mixed reviews, but I think it's because they're so shimmery, and not everybody loves a shimmery blush, but I really do. They are split pan duos, so one side typically has a little bit more shimmer in it than another, and I can't say that I wear all of them super regularly, so I should declutter a couple. I'll keep this one. This one is Papaya Pop. You know what, let me open them all up because that way I can compare them because a couple of them are pretty similar. Okay, I think I will declutter the Cherry blush. This is a really beautiful blush, but I definitely have some that are on the warmer side. And out of all of the ones that are on the warmer side, this is probably one that I reach for least just because it is pretty dark and I feel like I tend to prefer something a little bit lighter for my skin tone. So I am going to pass this one along. I think I'll declutter this one as well. This one is Pomegranate. It's really gorgeous. It's very intense, very beautiful. But again, because I prefer more of a subtle blush, typically, I just feel like I could pass this one along and somebody else would be able to get more use out of it. I am going to keep this one. This one is Strawberry. It's a really pretty light pink. And then I think I'm going to keep this one as well. This one is called Like My Melons. It's a little bit more of a warm toned pink. And I'm also going to keep the apricot one too. This one is called Apricot in the Act. So I definitely like these four the best. I think I could probably declutter this one. This one is Berries and Bubbly. It's really pretty, but I do think I have other blushes in this color family that I reach for over this one. So I will declutter this one. I will declutter 3 of them and then keep 4 of them. I do have one Charlotte Tilbury blush. This is their Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop blush in the shade Ecstasy. I feel like I try to tell myself I love this and I just don't. I feel like it looks very pretty on the skin, and when I use it, I'm happy with how my makeup turns out, but it's not one that I reach for over and over. So because of that, I just feel like I'd rather give it to somebody else who could enjoy it more than I do. I have two of these Smashbox blushes. These are technically highlighters, but I typically wear them as blushes. They are from the Smashbox Vlada collaboration. That was actually one of my favorite collaborations. I just thought the entire line was so beautiful. So here's what the first one looks like. It's just so gorgeous, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I do hang on to these. I think they look really pretty on the skin, but again, the actual shades aren't shades that I reach for all the time. And here's what the other one looks like. So I think it is finally time to part with these. As much as I love them and as beautiful as they are, I don't think that I need to keep them in my collection because they're just not shades that I typically reach for. So I'd rather give them to somebody else to enjoy. I do have 4 of the e.l.f. primer infused blushes. So 2 of these are their shimmer blushes, and then 2 of them are just like their regular matte blushes. I really like this formula. I think that it is so smooth and blendable. It stays in place really well throughout the day, and I'm just really impressed by it. I will say that the shimmer infused blushes kind of seem to have like a shimmery overspray, so it doesn't seem like the shimmer goes all the way throughout the blush, but they do have a little bit more of a luminous glow than the matte blushes do. I'm kind of skipping around, but while I'm on the subject of e.l.f., I think I'm finally going to declutter my baked blushes. These have been some of my favorites for years, but I have had them for years. I don't even know exactly how old they are, but they were some of the first blushes I had when I started my YouTube channel, and I just feel like the formula has changed. So I do feel like these have actually expired, so I'm going to get rid of these instead of passing them along to somebody else. But I've gotten so much use out of these. I've loved them so much over the years. I don't typically love baked blushes, but these have always been just really nice. They give your skin a really nice natural luminosity, and I've really enjoyed them, but they are getting older. I feel like the last few times I've used them, I've just had a really hard time actually getting product to show up well on my skin. So because of that, I'm going to declutter these. These blushes are from Catrice. They're a little bit newer to my collection. I purchased them because I was working on a best of Catrice video, which I don't think I've actually filmed. So that should be coming at some point over the next few months, but I do really enjoy these. These kind of have like a natural sheen to them. I would say that they are matte blushes, but they don't have like that flat matte look on the skin. So I do enjoy using these, so I am going to hang on to them. I think I'm actually going to declutter these Catrice highlighters. These are highlighters, but I have them in my blush drawer because I typically wear them as blushes. I kind of went through this phase where I was wearing highlighter as blush if it was a little bit too dark for me because I liked a super intense, like glowy, shimmery blush look. And these days, I do still enjoy like a luminous blush or a shimmery blush, but I kind of go for more of a toned down look rather than a highlighter as blush, which makes your skin look super shimmery and super glowy. So I think I'm going to declutter these as well. Even though I did love them, I think they're really pretty. I just don't wear these as blushes anymore. Back here, I have all of my Hourglass blushes, which I am going to keep. I'm not planning on decluttering any of these because these are my absolute favorite. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting blushes just look so pretty on the skin, and it's hard to explain because these are expensive, so I feel like when you initially see them and you see swatches or the price tag, a lot of people would just not be interested in them, and I was the same way, but these look so naturally gorgeous on the skin. Because they're mixed with like a light reflecting powder, they just give your skin like a natural glow without having actual shimmer in them. I mean, some of them do have shimmer. This one doesn't. This one is Ethereal Glow, which is a really pretty like cooler toned pink. And then this one is Dim Infusion, which gives your skin a little bit more of a coral glow. And then this one does not have shimmer as well. This one is Mood Exposure, which I like to use if I'm going for like a cooler toned look as well, but something maybe a little bit deeper. This one does have shimmer. They also have strobe lighting blushes, which do have a little bit of shimmer in them. This one is in Brilliant Nude, but I also love these. They're just so pretty on the cheeks, very natural looking. So if you like subtle blushes, I think you'll enjoy these as well. The last one I have is Euphoric Fusion. So again, I am going to hang on to all of these. They are my absolute favorite. Okay, I'm kind of torn on these. These are the Physicians Formula Butter Blushes. These are some of my absolute favorites. I love this formula so much. It's definitely in my top 3. And last year they released a couple of additional shades, and I just find myself reaching for them all the time, especially during the summertime. If you guys weren't aware, Physicians Formula is no longer considered cruelty-free because they do sell in a country where animal testing is required by law. So for that reason, I won't be buying their products any longer. I do only buy cruelty-free beauty products on my channel, and I don't have a problem using products off camera. Like if you buy the products, obviously it's okay to use them even if a brand is no longer considered cruelty-free because you have the makeup, it's already purchased. So there's no point in throwing it away. That's incredibly wasteful. For me, the issue is because I film YouTube videos, whatever I use off camera, I talk about on camera. I don't have like a stash of products that I use off camera that I don't feature on my channel. I tried to do that in the past, like when I went cruelty-free, I kept a lot of the products that weren't cruelty-free in my collection, and the next time I did a declutter video, I ended up decluttering them because I just won't use them if I know that I won't talk about them on my channel. So if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would totally keep these products and continue to use them until they were old or expired or I used them up. And there are a few products from the brand that I am going to put in my project pan, but because I am decluttering my collection, I mean, the majority of these are pretty new. I can just pass them along to somebody else to enjoy because I'm sure somebody would be able to get a lot of use out of them. I am going to keep my Flower Beauty Flower Pots. What are these called? Flower Pots Powder Blushes. So I have two. I have the shade Sweet Pea, and then I also have the shade Warm Hibiscus. I think that these are really nice. They're just very blendable, smooth, easy to work with, and I really like these colors. So I am going to hang on to these. I'm also going to keep this Milani blush. This one is their baked blush in the shade Luminoso. This is a little bit older. I've had it for a long time, but I think it still works really well. It's typically a shade that I love to wear during the summertime, so I am going to break this one back out, probably put it in my everyday makeup drawer for summer. And then I am going to keep all of my Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused blushes. This again is one of my absolute favorite formulas. I would say that it's in my top 3 for sure. They're just so pretty on the skin. They're incredibly just like luminous in a very natural way. My favorite is in the shade Seychelles. I wear this one all the time. I will say that the texture looks a little bit different than some of the other ones. Like if you look at it up close, it looks pretty texturized, but I don't think that it's actually expired. I haven't had it for very long. It performs the same. It just kind of feels like the product wasn't mixed well. So you guys will have to let me know if your blush is like that as well. I only have that issue with Seychelles, but I will say I use this one a lot more than the other blushes. So that could be the reason why it kind of looks like that, because I have used it more, but I think for now it's still okay. And then I have 2 of these Essence Satin Touch blushes. These are really nice. They are more of a matte finish, but again, they aren't like a flat matte. They look a little bit more natural on the skin. You know what? I think I'm actually going to declutter these Tarte blushes. I feel like I've kept a couple more matte blushes than I was anticipating between like these Essence ones and these Catrice ones. So I just don't think that I need to keep these Tarte blushes because now that I'm thinking about it, I just don't reach for them as much as I do a couple of other matte formulas. And then I actually forgot that I had these Tarte blushes. I got these little trios as part of a holiday set. It came with 3 of these trios, and I think that these are so nice. They perform a lot better than the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes in my mind. So I do have these from Tarte, which I have been enjoying. So there's the darker stack. This one is a little bit more of like a medium toned stack. It has a highlighter, a blush, and a bronzer. And then the last one, this one comes with a highlighter and 2 blushes. So I am going to keep these. These are really nice. They're just small and compact, and I do really enjoy those. And then I just have a couple of blushes back here. So the first one is the Natasha Denona Duo Glow in the shade Alba. I actually really like this blush. It's like a super glowy peachy coral. Doesn't want to focus on this for some reason. This looks really gorgeous and healthy on the cheeks, but I think I'm actually going to declutter this one because I do own the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. So this one has 4 different products in it. I didn't realize at the time, but this shade is very, very similar to Alba. They look almost identical on the cheeks, and I am planning on keeping this one because I do enjoy it so much. So because I have this one, I don't think I need to keep this one as well. And then I do have 2 of the Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duo. So this one is Soft Peach. This is my favorite out of the 2. It's just like a great everyday duo. I love that it has a matte side and a shimmery side because you can wear them alone or mix them together. And I just enjoy using these so much. And then I also have Warm Honey. Warm Honey is a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. For some reason, I just thought that I would end up reaching for it more than I do. I do still like using it, so I am going to keep it for now just because I like mixing the shades together, and I do really like the shimmery side, but I don't wear it as much as Soft Peach. But that being said, I still enjoy the formula. I do reach for it from time to time, so for now, I am going to hang on to this one as well. Okay, this is the Balm's Hot Mama, which again is a really gorgeous blush. It's kind of like a peachy coral, very similar to the Duo Glow from Natasha Denona. But I do have quite a few blushes that look like this, and this one's getting a little bit older. I just don't find myself reaching for it very often. And I just really want to be selective about which ones I keep. So because I haven't reached for this one, I don't even know the last time I have used it. I think it's time to declutter it. Okay, so over here I have a couple of blush palettes. This one is the Too Faced Sweet Peach Glow palette. I've had this for such a long time, and I did get quite a bit of use out of it. As you can tell, mine's looking a little bit rough. I do enjoy this palette, but mine's getting pretty old. I feel like the cream products have dried out a little bit, and it just doesn't perform as well as it used to, so I think it's actually time to throw this one away as well. It's years old at this point, and because it is more of a cream formula, it just doesn't last as long as a powder formula. I am going to keep this one. This is an Hourglass blush palette. It is discontinued, so you can't get it any longer. I think I got it from Nordstrom a while ago, but it comes with 3 really gorgeous Hourglass blushes. This one is Surreal Glow, and this is one of my favorite blushes. I wear it all the time, and I'm going to be so sad if I ever use it up because it is one of my favorites, and it's no longer available. It also comes with Luminous Flush, which I think is a permanent shade, and then Mood Exposure, which I do own in a mini version as well. But I love this palette. I use it all the time. And then this is a newer palette from BH Cosmetics. It is their Vanilla Cream Truffle Blush Palette. It comes with 4 really gorgeous like matte blushes, and I just enjoy using these. I think they're so soft and blendable and smooth and easy to work with, so I definitely love this palette. I'm going to hang on to this one too. And then let's just finish up with these cream blushes. So again, I have some more products from Physicians Formula. These are actually really beautiful, and I have enjoyed using them. I don't wear cream blush as much as I do powder blush, but I find that these are very easy to work with. They're really luminous. The formula is actually very, very similar to the Flower Beauty blush balm. So if you guys have tried the blush balms, that's what these feel like on the skin, but they have different shades to choose from. So because I do have the Flower Beauty blush balms, I'm going to keep these and declutter these from Physicians Formula. I recently tried out these CoverGirl cream blushes, and I just didn't like them. I reviewed them in a video, so I think I'm actually going to declutter these as well. Okay guys, here is a final look at my blush collection. So these are the blushes I'm keeping. These are all of the blushes I am decluttering. I decluttered about 45% of my collection, which I feel like is a lot more than I thought I was going to declutter. I started with 70. I'm decluttering 32 and keeping 38, but I feel okay about it. I mean, part of me is kind of like side-eyeing these blushes like, do I want to get rid of all of them? But the more that I look at it, the more that I'm okay with it, because I have my staple blushes like my Hourglass blushes and my Buxom blushes, and then I have a couple in case I want to switch it up, like these from Tarte, my Flower Beauty blushes. So I do feel okay with it, and honestly, I just prefer more of a curated collection these days. So I'm okay with the fact that I cut it in half. I'm going to pass these along and other people will be able to enjoy them. The only thing that I am still sad about would be the butter blushes, but like I told you guys, I have my reasoning for decluttering them. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to stay tuned because I will be uploading more declutter videos, but if you want to check out more in the meantime, I'll link some in the description box below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will be uploading new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you guys will subscribe to my channel, but I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.